It's Christmas time, and what better way to celebrate than looking back at some of the figures that we found under the tree in our formative years. But first, let's set the mood. Perfect. Let's jump on the nostalgia bus. Ho, ho, ho. What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. We are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is a very special Christmas Nerdzoic. Adulting is messy. That's why I created this channel, so that nerds like me and you could just sit down and nerd out over toys of yesteryear and today. If you became of age before the internet years and remember of age of no cell phones and no high-speed internet, then you also remember that one of the highlights of the year was getting your Christmas wish book in the mail so that you can make your Christmas list for Santa. Grab some hot cocoa and let's relive that, because we're going to look back at the 10 best overall years of the Christmas wish book based on what's in there, obviously. Before we do that, I just want to give a quick shout out to WISHBOOK Web, where I got all of these pictures from. They actually uploaded all the Christmas wish books onto their website, but they've kind of gone dark. They haven't been on there since 2017. So if you guys happen to come across this, you did a good thing. You did a good thing. Coming in at number 10 is 1988 SEARS Christmas wish book. In 1988, I was 5, but it was the heyday of the 80s and the cartoons and the toys, and it was a good time. We start off looking at G.I. Joe sleeping bag and 10 supplies, count me in. A $100 Nintendo. Wow, things have changed. I have no memory of that joystick thing until this video. Here's the G.I. Joe page coming in strong, along with the knockoff Commando Force brand. I love that they have Ghostbusters and Transformers on one page. It's like the two brands that somehow missed my childhood even though I grew up in them. Cops and crooks, folks. That was what it was all about. Hasbro, if you're listening, I need this in my 6-inch world. I don't know what I would do for it. Maybe I gotta start a petition. I don't know. I had every single thing here except that weird helicopter. I don't remember ever having that. We got a Lego monorail. We got a Disney set. We got mask vehicles, which looks a little bit weaker compared to other mask years. This is towards the end of them, I guess. Coming in at number 9 is the 1990 JCPENNY wish book. 1990, I was 7. Let's see what we got. All right, we got a Batman Power Wheels. Yep, that would have been awesome to find under, or, well, more likely next to a tree. This looks like it's the first Christmas for WWF Hasbro figures, but $30 for 2 figures in a ring? Man, talk about the good old days. Here's some Batman love. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be based on Batman 89, being it was a year and a half ago at this time, but hey, it's Batman, so that's okay. Turtle Sewer! Enough said. I actually got this in the 1990 Christmas, if I remember correctly. 5-inch Marvel and DC figs, yeah, they came a long way. And the New Kids on the Block dolls, that's interesting. Fun story. One time I had a girl when I was 6 say, "Hey Matt, did you hear about the New Kids on the Block?" And I said, "No," and I walked up and down the block looking for them. Awkward. Coming in at number 8 is the 1983 Christmas wish book. This is a Super Masters of the Universe heavy year. However, we start off with Castle Zendo? What the hell is this? It looks pretty awesome though, but we all know what kids really wanted. Grayskull. And we got some Lego and Space in Town, and in truth, this isn't a great year, but it is my birth year, so that's gotta count for something. Coming in at number 7 is the 1977 SEARS wish book. We haven't hit the action figure craze yet, but we do have some pretty cool stuff, like this Pizza Hut Easy Bake Oven, so the boys get something, plus a Pepsi dispenser that makes Pepsi shots. Okay. Bionic Woman. Well, girls get something that's interesting. I love that the Red Fox doll says, "Your daddy sat on me." We have some Batman and Muhammad Ali punching bags with, oh look, silly swords. Those don't look suspiciously like lightsabers at all. Okay, the Matchbox Combat Zone looks awesome. What the hell ever happened to Matchbox anyway? I think Hot Wheels killed them. We got some Tonka stuff, because what kid doesn't love moving dirt with a toy? And some vintage Marvel and DC figures. I think those are Migos, but I don't know for sure. Coming in at number 6 is the 1985 Sears Christmas wish book. 1985 was a big year. The Bears won the Super Bowl, and we got a lot of great stuff under the tree. Now, I was 2, so I didn't get most of this stuff this year, but I had a lot of it later on, and this is a really strong year. It starts off with some awesome Lego sets, including a castle that would probably be like $800 now. Mask in its heyday with the iconic Boulder Hill playset, which just might be the best playset ever. Next, we got some pretty cool Star Wars sets. It's pretty crazy what money could buy you back then. This was the tail end of Star Wars in the 80s. I believe this might have even been the last year of Power of the Force 2. For about 10 years that we had the Star Wars toy drought. So it was almost RIP Star Wars toys. By the way, RIP Ranker HasLab. Next we have G.I. Joe and the aircraft carrier. Is it the best vehicle ever? Is it the best playset ever? I don't know. Is it a vehicle or it's both? and a battle platform in the same year, this was a hell of a year for playsets. Speaking of playsets, it's Masters of the Universe time, and this has been out for a few years now, but they're still hawking that Castle Grayskull. Now we got Snake Mountain added to it, and the Fright Zone, which you know had to be cool because the tree branches grabbed your figures. That's scary, it's frightening. Here you can see a badass Sectar playset. What the hell is Sectar? Seriously, it looks awesome, but I have no clue what that is. That sounds like a job for Toy Galaxy. Voltron looking awesome as always, of course, followed immediately by Transformers, and their Kmart brethren, the GoBots. Wait, there's more. We also got the superhero page with a ton of superhero figures, including the Justice League Hall of Justice. Also, that might be my favorite penguin ever. Aircraft Carrier, Fright Zone, Snake Mountain. How could anything beat this? It's only number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the 1994 JCPENNY Wishbook. We start off strong with the Fisher-Price Castle. Fisher-Price, not a brand known for action figures, but holy crap, I think every kid growing up in this era had one of these, or the accompanying pirate ship. I love this thing. It shot a giant boulder. It was awesome. By the way, what kid doesn't need a Megazord toothbrush? And Lincoln Logs. The only bad thing about Lincoln Logs is the fact that you had to buy like 10 cases to build something awesome with. And we got some comic sets, which were, they just couldn't even give comic books away at this point. We're only a few years away from Marvel's bankruptcy, so not a good time for comics. Star Trek The Next Generation was big at this time, so of course we get the Star Trek Bridge. Erector sets, Connects, Steel Tech, they were all really big at this time, but I was never really into them. I'm not that artsy. I was more of a pew, 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 pew type of guy. Look at this. Kids had such a good imagination back then. You could make a toy out of cardboard bricks and it would actually sell. Here's a pretty awesome looking Cowboys and Indians set that's probably too controversial for today. I gotta admit, I am a huge fan of this. I love Cowboys and Indians growing up, and I love Western movies now. Big John Wayne fan. I would love to see someone do this in the 6-inch scale. Maybe me. But it's controversial, so who knows. Coming in at number 4 is the 1980 JCPENNY Wishbook. Look at this, toy guns that look real and shooting games. My, how things have changed. Look at this, more Wild West playsets. You know I'd be all up in those if I was alive and playing with toys at this time. And here we go with some heroes. It's kind of odd to see Batman lumped in with the Marvel characters. That would never happen nowadays. And I gotta say that Batcave is definitely lacking. Here we go with some Empire Strikes Back sets. If I'm not mistaken, this might be the first time that Star Wars made it into a Wishbook for a movie release. I gotta say, I really dig that meditation chamber that's part of the Star Destroyer. I know we got a meditation chamber about 15 years ago, but I feel like this should be re-released as part of a Star Destroyer again. That'd be pretty cool. Lastly, we got some horror monster guys. These look like reaction figures, which I guess is kind of the point. Coming in at number 3 is 1996 JCPENNY. And we are in the video game heyday, folks. Starting off with Nintendo Game Boy, never did it, never did it. Followed by Super Nintendo, also never did it. I was a Sega guy, I'm sorry. I kind of regret it now though, because looking back, it looked like Super Nintendo had the better games. I love these organizers that they sold. I'm such a nerd that I always bought one for every system I had. I had to organize my stuff. Also, $115 for the SNES would be about $200 now, and $30 games would be about $55. So that's not that far off, so not too bad. Batman Forever, that game sucked. I never got the Sega Saturn, I never got the Sega CD. Those things all came out too close together. I just stuck with the Sega Genesis. The Batmobile 3-in-1, I remember that being a super hot toy that year with Batman Forever having come out. Anyone remember Dragonflies? It was a pretty cool idea and concept, but it was super short-lived. I was obsessed with Micro Machines, and that airport, it got a ton of hours of play out of me. My, how things have changed. Superhero toys are confined to a single page, and they have to be headlined by Xena and Hercules. This might be a low point for superhero toys. A surprisingly small amount of space given to Star Wars, given this was right at the very beginning of Power of the Force 2. We do get to see the awesome orange box electronic snowspeeder, as well as the green box Boba Fett Slave 1, both of which are awesome. This was also the year of Shadows of the Empire. It came out earlier in '96, so of course we got some Shadows of the Empire merch. Coming in at number 2 is the 1987 Sears Canadian Wishbook. How about that, eh? Ghostbusters in its heyday. Most of these are pretty reasonable on the secondary market, with the Firehouse and Ecto-1 being the most sought after. Tons of Transformers, not surprising. This is probably the peak of Transformers. The G.I. Joe Space Shuttle launch playset. Holy crap, I didn't realize this was bigger than the flag. That thing is huge. That would probably be like a $500 set today. We also got a pretty awesome looking mobile command center that was 3 levels and had an escape slide. This was probably the peak of the WWF Classic Superstars run. I never owned any of these. In fact, until I got into toy collecting, I thought that Hasbro was the first wrestling figures. Dummy me. But yeah, I was all over them Hasbros. Bravestar, another franchise I know absolutely nothing about, but given my love of Westerns, I probably should. This looks pretty sweet. Plus, that command center looks awesome. Time to go to number 1, and I'm not gonna lie to you, number 1 came when I was 8 years old, so it's the prime of my life, so it's a little bit biased, but let's do this. Coming in at number 1 is the 1991 Sears Christmas Wishbook. I think I had everything here, folks. We have Batman with his cave, but with some minor upgrades. We have the best Batmobile ever made. We have a Robin Hood playset that was a little bit off the beaten path, but still had tons of play value. While not in the Marvel then, okay, I didn't have these. I wish I had that Punisher van. That thing looks awesome. Plus, Wolverine's combat cave is pretty cool as well. But no doubt, the creme de la creme of this year was the Turtles. We got the sewer, we got the Technodrome, we got the blimp, we got all sorts of stuff for Turtles, and my god, Turtles were in its heyday. I played with them until the paint came off. And that sewer, good luck finding that sewer for a decent price today. One of the best playsets ever made. They just do not make playsets like they used to. And if you don't believe me, check out this countdown here of the best playsets ever made. And remember, you have to get old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.